Well, good morning everyone and welcome to Anglesey. Welcome to the Race of Remembrance 2022, the 8th running of this unique event here in the furthest reaches of northwest Wales.
Other cars with notable incidents as the grid does get underway for the rolling restart for part 2 of this race was car 777 ES Motorsport. They had a 10-place grid penalty due to a safety car infringement in qualifying. They were making their way up through the field and they had what I could only describe on commentary if you listen back as a big fire.
That brought that car into the pits yesterday when it was leading the race. And to be fair, that was the Caterham that was looking the quickest. A 2-lap penalty has been applied to the 25 car. He's 4 laps behind the race leader. We'll monitor that. We're going to have an hour and a half of racing this morning before we break for the main event, for the Remembrance service down in the pit lane. Michael Edwards is in the white Lotus Elise. If you catch it on the screen, there are 2 number 33s. There's a white one and a green one. If it's white, it's Michael, and if it's green, it's Bailey Edwards doing the driving for that relay team. Not eligible to win the trophy.
Half of the pit lane is kind of hidden away from our view up in the commentary box.
Yeah, but we see the whole track, we can't see half the pit lane.
No, there we go, on the screen now. So that's car number 223. They're currently performing a fuel stop, so they're just getting one of their 4-minute stops out of the way. Don't forget the pit stop rules are as such. You have to do 6 compulsory stops at a minimum of 4 minutes.
And if you still need to make your 6 pit stops, you're going to lose 4 minutes getting refueled,
I mean, to be
nearly
fair,
2 laps.
To be fair, the good thing yesterday, I mean, how many safety car periods did we have? About 8?
9.
So it's 9 in total. So that is a lot of safety car time that teams could have utilised to pit under that, because, you know, for the folks watching on the stream that maybe aren't too familiar with the endurance racing aspects of it.
And you'd see them waving so far in advance, letting you go through. It's absolutely amazing. The driving standards have been so good.
Number 4, as there's a change there, as Martin Smith goes through and takes the checkered flag. And we're ready to go down to Northwest Standard Light now. So over to our colleagues down there. The race recommences, the race time countdown recommences at this moment, and we are now going to continue the 2022 Race of Remembrance. Let's go racing, said James Cameron. A little bit less than 3.5 hours of racing, because the race yesterday evening ran a little bit over 7 hours. On Saturday evening we went up until a minute and a half practically past 10, and having completed part 2 we then got up to 8 hours and 32 minutes, so there remains about 3 hours and 27 minutes to go.
Very poetic. Motorsport and the military coming together in remembrance.
Exactly.
That's the kind of thought I had in my head as those.
And at the end of the service was the other point, where the Padre, the RAF chaplain, gave the blessing. We sang the national anthem, God Save the King, for the first time for many.
I know, I found that so strange.
Callum Lockett,
like Jaws in the water, you could almost hear the music with it creeping up behind you.
I was trying to get Henry Williams to tell us what the driving sequence was going to be after Callum Lockett, after the Remembrance service, and quite frankly, he said he didn't know, and I believe him. I don't think they'd actually decided what they were going to do yet.
Were they going to flip a coin, perhaps?
Possibly. I don't know that's how they run it, but the beauty of that team is that they do have the strength in numbers. They've got 4 quick drivers, equally quick drivers at their disposal, and so they can kind of select who they have in the car at any time, and that's no disadvantage, you know, because with Rob Boston, Neil Roach, with Steve McCulley and Andrew Perry, his co-driver, with the Rocket Racing Car, they are limited in their choices. You know, if you come in and want to drive a change, you've got to go to the other driver. But who's to say they're not going to strike further problems? So Rob Boston will keep on pushing away No point in giving up just yet. And a podium certainly is for the taking for Rob Boston. And after the problems they've had, that would indeed be a worthy winner. I was going to say earlier on to Rob, whoever wins this race, and it is far from certain, but whoever wins will be a worthy winner by virtue, if nothing else, of just having the stickability to stick at the task. There goes Rob again through another lap in the 141s. He completes 279 laps. The two cars ahead of him, Steve McCulley there closing in, completes his 281st lap. So he's 2 laps ahead still, but it is pretty much exactly 2 laps ahead. Actually, it's that screen updating itself. 9:52. Yeah, we are still pretty much on schedule as we go into the last 2 hours of the race, or at least we will be doing in a couple of minutes' time. And we'll see. There goes the 360 projector. Mini Cooper S in 6th place, and will certainly from the outside look as if he's been racing all his life, as Martin has said. I mean, yes, he's his father, so of course we'll talk nicely about him, but he certainly does seem to have an aptitude for it. Michael Edwards crossing the line in 3rd place, and the number 33 car going through there in 3rd place. And down in the pit lane, Rob Lewis has more for us. Rob, over to you. Yes, interesting that he was not completely down on power, but able to keep going in the pits, getting refuel. We're talking about Joe Bagley. That's his car that's in the pits at the moment, the one he shares with Jason Batten, Steve Robinson, Mark Elliott. Car number 52, and that car has certainly the one that Joe Bagley was driving. It was Jason Batten who brought the car in, and he is, yes, so I'll say 6th approximately in the BMW class.
Hi Paul, I've got with me Keith from the Royal Navy Royal Marines Motorsport team, the BMW 116 trophy car number 17 that we've commented on quite a lot during this race. Keith, the battles you were having yesterday, we caught on the live stream, were mega. How's this race gone for you guys so far?
It's going very well. We've had a couple of ups and downs, but by and large, we're where we want to be. We've got one stop left to do, hopefully today. We're on track to get the result we need and we want, particularly against the other services as well.
That's the important thing against the other services. I must apologise, actually, we did get the name wrong on the commentary, so it's the Royal Navy Royal Marines car in that order, so I'll make sure I get that right. But as well, we've commented a lot on the C1s and the BMW class of car. It's so competitive. What's the secret to getting the best out of this car?
It's really down to the setup and having confidence and seat time into it. They're pretty underpowered, as you've seen out there, but once you get the feel and the confidence for it, you can really chuck that car into the corners, but you've got to get that rear end lively and make it dance for you. And as soon as you do, that car can actually take some really good cornering speeds, and that's the really important thing with these underpowered vehicles, keeping your speeds up through the corners.
Oh, there's a car off. That's a Citroen C1, and the rear right corner does not look very well on that.
That's had contact.
Car number
Rob.
69, so something quite drastic has happened
they've
there.
had contact with another car, I think.
Yeah. Now looking at that, looking at that image, that is a brake caliper hanging on, and I can't see a wheel on that C1. Now, where has that gone off?
That's a rocket, I think.
That is, we could just see it from our commentary tower in the distance, double waved yellows,
He's
and
off
surely
he's off quite a long way to the left-hand side.
There's the wheel on the grass, so it's definitely 3 wheels on my wagon, as you can see.
So 139, Tom Roach going pretty well. I mean, given that car had a pretty much total rebuild overnight, the Rob Boston Lotus LEs, still going very well indeed, but as I say, it's done not really 12 hours because it's done a race of 7 hours, then had a bit of a rebuild, and now a race of 5.5, or we've done 5 hours.
You say a bit of a rebuild. I mean, I got to the garage last night and they were ripping the engine out ready to go, so they had a number of issues. Speaking to Rob and Tom and the team, they had the engine went to 121 degrees according to their data logger and poured coolant out anyway, as we see car number 11 just Is that turning into the pits? Oh no, that's at the top of the circuit, but they were
coming down through the court screen.
Yeah, they were indicating left. I'm not sure if that was just to get out of the way of the cars behind or if they've got a problem, but with the 116 trophy and the Enduro KA spec car getting away from them.
I think he was just saying the just general pace of cars going across the start-finish line has reduced now as they'll be going on. So
No,
Steve McCulley being shown the checkered flag, which is a dreadful shame because he is not the winner. There goes Tom Roach. Tom Roach comes through. I do hope that all works itself out, but unfortunately there was confusion down on the start-finish line, and Steve McCulley was shown the checkered flag in error, but they'll go back a lap, and Tom Roach will therefore still be declared as the winner. But for now, from Anglesey, the 2022 Race of Remembrance is at a close, looking at the pictures of the Snowdonian Mountains in the distance there. It's good night from Rob Lewis and from me, Paul Truswell. Hope to see you back again soon.